How's it going, everybody? Wayne here. So as I said last video, normally when I start off a new year, I like to go out and go game chasing and see what kind of year that year is going to be for my game collection. And I haven't been able to do that, like I said, because I'm on crutches right now. But I did come across a Facebook post where somebody was getting rid of their collection and it was up for grabs for best offer. And the picture was really blurry. There was only like one big picture of everything and I couldn't really tell everything that was in there, but I came up with about a $250 estimate and I shot it over to the guy. And so I shot the offer of $250 over to him, and he was trying to get rid of everything as a whole. He didn't want to separate anything, he just wanted to get rid of it all at once. But he ended up saying that he got rid of a lot of his Game Boy games, which there were some Pokemon games in there, and those are probably the ones that are missing out of the lot. But I still decided $250 should be a reasonable offer for the lot. And he wasn't able to meet till the next day, which is today. And I ended up getting this lot from him, and when I picked it up from him, he said, "You're actually lucky because somebody offered me $350 for this lot, but I already told him I'd sell it to you for $250. I still don't know everything that's in this lot, so let's check it out. Alright, so the first thing in the lot is a bunch of GameCube games. I was hoping there was maybe some Mario or Zelda games in here, but unfortunately there wasn't. But we got Lego Star Wars, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball Z. This is a PlayStation 2 game, Resident Evil 4. Next up, a Wii game, Guitar Hero, Donkey Konga 2, Hulk, Black and Bruised, Final Fantasy, Lego Star Wars 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Burnout 2, and Super Monkey Ball 2. So far okay, but let's see what else we got. Next up we have a bunch of CD-based games, and we got One Piece for PlayStation. This is a Japanese copy. Crash Bandicoot, Soul Edge, Zero Divide, which it looks like it's some sort of fighting game. Tekken, a US PlayStation game, Caesar's Palace 2000, Pa-Rappa the Rapper. And for Sega Saturn we have Enemy Zero and Virtua Fighter Remix. And we got two Japanese GameCube games, Battle Hushin and Pokemon Box. So far it's not looking too promising. Next up we have some Famicom games. We got Yoshi, Mario Golf, Tetris 2, Dragon Ball, Super Mario USA, which is the Super Mario Bros. 2 we know of, and Super Mario Bros. 3. Still nothing super exciting, but there's a lot more to still go through. Alright, moving on to the next box, we got a few more Famicom games, Dragon Buster, Dragon Quest, and I'm not really sure what this game is. And we have another copy of Super Mario Bros. 3. Next up we have a bunch of Super Famicom games. First up we got the Super Game Boy. We got what looks to be like a fishing game, I'm not really sure what it is. Dragon Ball Z, Tiny Toon Adventures, another game I'm not really sure what it is. I have a lot of testing to do. Super Mario World, Street Fighter 2, Feta, I'm not really sure what that is. Kirby, Pac-Man Pack in Time, that's a pretty fun game. Super Donkey Kong 2, Super Donkey Kong 3, Uno, Tennis, SimCity 2000, Kirby Super Deluxe, Excite Stage 94, Pinball, and another copy of Super Donkey Kong 2. Oh, we got some more. Super Mario RPG, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Warriors, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario Kart, another copy of Chrono Trigger, Super WrestleMania, another game I'm not really sure what it is, and a third copy of Chrono Trigger. Next up we have some American NES games. The first game up is Tiger Heli. This is the Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt World Clash Track Meet Trilogy. Oh. Tecmo Cup soccer game, which this is a pretty uncommon game. Usually sells for around $60. The label's great. It's got some marker that'll probably come off. So that's a pretty exciting find right there. TNC Surf Design and 2 copies of Super Mario Bros. 3. So far I think we're doing alright, and we still got a lot more to go through. Alright, next up is a bunch of Game Boy, N64, and handheld consoles. Let's start with the consoles first. Here's an original Game Boy. Need to see if this works. So I'll test the Game Boy with this game, Dr. Mario, that it came with. Unfortunately, the Game Boy does not work. Oh well. Up next is a Game Boy Pocket. Let's give this one a shot. Of course, AAAs. Test it with the same game. And the Game Boy Pocket works just fine. Next up we have a Game Boy Color, which is in pretty good condition, and it's the color that I had as a child, so this is pretty cool to have. Let's just see if it works. I just discovered that the Game Boy Color actually has a motion sensor inside of it. I got this Kirby game I'm testing out, and you move Kirby by tilting the actual Game Boy Color, and I had no idea that that technology existed back in the Game Boy Color time. So I'm just like really wowed out right now. I had no idea the Game Boy Color had that kind of technology. And this thing works great and looks great. This is really exciting to add this to the collection. Alright, so let's take a look at the rest of the Game Boy games. Alright, so we got Wario Land, Wario Land 2, Go-Go Ackman, Kirby game, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is the Kirby game I was just playing, Mario Golf, Super Mario Land, and Super Mario Land 2. Finally, we have a whole stack of games that I'm not really sure what they are, so I'll go through and test these later. So far, I'm excited with what's in the lot, and we still have a lot more to go through. I think this lot was pretty epic for one of my first pickups of 2019. Alright, next up we have a bunch of loose Japanese N64 games. And we have Goemon's Adventure, Yoshi's Story, Mario's Story, as you would know it in America, it's Paper Mario, Mario Kart 64, Pokemon Stadium, Star Wars, F1 World Grand Prix, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Mario Tennis 64, Star Fox 64, Custom Robo, which is a pretty fun game. This is also a Goemon game. I'm not really sure which one is Goemon's Adventure and which one is Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, but both of them are here. Majora's Mask, another Goemon game, another Mario Story, and I've seen a ton of this game, so it's a common, but I don't really know what it is. Some robot game for the N64. We also have a couple Game Boy Advance and DS games, but they're not really exciting. We also got a Nintendo DS with 2 chargers, and it works just fine. Finally, we got this mini arcade, which also works. Let's see. And it's not very practical to play on, but whatever. Alright, now we have the final and biggest box to go through, the box with all the consoles. So let's see what we got. First up, we have a Japanese Sega Saturn, and it came with 3 controllers, and it has all the cables with it. Up next, we have a Dreamcast, and this one is a Japanese Dreamcast, which mine's broken, so hopefully this one works. And it has all the cables as well. Here's another Dreamcast. This one looks a little bit better, could be cleaned up a little bit. And this is actually a US Dreamcast, which I don't have yet. I've never owned a US Dreamcast, so this will be my first. Hopefully it works. It actually has a game inside, NBA 2K1, so I'll be able to test that out too. And it also has all the cables. And with the Dreamcast, I got 4 controllers for them, and a fishing controller for fishing games. I really hope these work. Next up, we got an N64. This is a Japanese N64. And it came with the expansion pack, which is a little bonus. That came with 2 controllers in good condition with tight sticks. And for whatever reason, it came with 4 power bricks. Next up we got a Japanese GameCube with the Game Boy Advance player. And it also has a game inside, Naruto 2. It came with 2 controllers, not in the best condition. Next up we got a Super Famicom, which is in pretty good condition, and it came with a nice controller as well. And although this lot didn't come with an actual NES, it did come with a gun and 2 NES controllers. Next up, still in its package from the store he bought it at, is a Japanese PS1 with all the cables and controllers. Also included was a US version PlayStation 1 with 2 more controllers. And it has a game in there, Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. And then we got 2 USA version Wii consoles. Both are the ones with the GameCube ports in them. And they come with a ton of accessories, steering wheels, nunchucks, the Wiimotes, all that stuff, all the cables. And finally we got a bunch of clone systems. This is the Sega Genesis Classic. We got a retro entertainment system for NES games, and a couple Japanese clone systems, and these also have cables and controllers. Well, that was everything in this lot. Let's see if these consoles work. Alright, so the first console up to test is the Sega Saturn. Typically with Sega Saturns you find around here the battery's dead inside. No big deal. Alright, so the Sega Saturn works just fine. Next up we have the US Dreamcast, and I'm really hoping this one works because I've never had one and I would love to start collecting for the system. It's a little noisy, so unfortunately no luck with the US Dreamcast working. But we have the Japanese one to try now, and there's a game I bought that I've been wanting to play but haven't had a working Dreamcast, so hopefully the Japanese one works. Let's check out Gunbird 2, hopefully. Looks like we might have some luck with the Japanese Dreamcast. Alright, so I'm really excited to finally have a working Japanese Dreamcast again. Now I can play all the games I've been buying but haven't been able to play, which is really exciting. It's a pretty cool vertical shoot 'em up, Gunbird 2. It is kind of weird playing it on the Dreamcast controller, but it's not bad. Alright, so Japanese Dreamcast, good to go. Alright, next up we got the Super Famicom. Let's see how this does. Here we go. So the Super Famicom works just fine. Alright, next up is the US version PlayStation 1. Let's check it out. And the PlayStation 1 is good to go. Alright, this is the Japanese PlayStation 1. Alright, and the Japanese PS1 seems to be working just fine. This is Strikers 1945, another vertical shoot 'em up. This is also a really fun game. Alright, Japanese PS1 is good to go as well. Alright, this is the Japanese GameCube, and despite it not looking the best, it also works just fine. Alright, up next is the Japanese N64. Let's check it out. And no problem, the Japanese N64 is working right away. And the Japanese N64 works no problem. Alright, finally we have the US Wii's. He did say one of them wasn't working, and I'm assuming that's going to be this one. He said they only used it for Netflix and stuff. But it does have a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3 on it. That's a plus. And just like you said, the second Wii seems to work just fine. Mario Kart Wii is one of my favorite Mario Kart games. And the second Wii is good to go. Well, there you have it, my first retro pickup of 2019. It was a pretty good overall haul. We had the Game Boy that wasn't working, the Wii which didn't read discs, and the American Dreamcast didn't work. But everything else worked fine, and some of that stuff I already have I'll be able to sell and probably make the money back that I paid for the entire lot, and I'll still be able to add a bunch of that to my collection that I didn't have before. So it was a really good deal overall. So how has your 2019 started for your game collection? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll be bringing you a lot more videos like this. Until next time, I'm Wayne, and thanks for watching.